Hello. God bless you and keep you forever. This one's going to be about the Chaldeans, which is in Genesis 15. This is a covenant that the Lord made with Abram. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward, right? And so, right here in verse 7, he also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land, take possession of it. And so they end up, the Chaldeans have a lot of money and they're royal. But the Lord made them to bring judgment upon the earth, the four corners of the earth. And so they're the ones who are the main people that are doing all of this stuff out here right now, All the things that we see right now, the Chaldeans are behind it, most of them. Not all of them. There's others too that are behind it. But the Chaldeans take a really big place in this. So when he's talking about right here, it's a prophecy to give you this land, take possession of it. And that prophecy comes all the way into the Babylonian Empire. And then the Neo-Babylonian, right? Because Babylon fell and then it was rebuilt. And there was the Neo-Babylonian, and that's where Daniel was, the book of Daniel. He was in the Neo-Babylonian Empire with Nebuchadnezzar. But before that, Cyrus the Great came. That was prophesied with Isaiah, I think in Isaiah 7 or 8. And he was prophesied 800 years before that he was going to take over, or he was going to take down the first Babylon Empire, which was the Persian Empire. But the second one, the Chaldeans came in and took Egypt, right? Which brings us all the way to the dollar bill, where they have the pyramid with the Eye of Ra on it. And they were the astrologers. They were really smart. And they had they're stargazers, And so I've been doing a lot of research on it, and the Lord just brought me to Isaiah 47. And I wanted to talk about this because he's talking about the fall of Babylon right here, and the virgin daughter Babylon, which people say that's America, which it is. Sit on the ground without a throne. And there isn't a throne here. You understand? It's a democracy or a republic, but mostly we're a democracy. We're for the people. We're supposed to be. No more will you be called tender or delicate. Take millstones and grind flour. Take off your veil. And that's what he's doing right now. He's lifting up their skirts and baring their legs and wading them through the streams and making them naked and exposed. And always before exposure, any time, and biblically when there's exposure, there's always destruction right after it. The Lord exposes what's being done. That's what he does. That's what he uses the prophets for. So then they know that he's taking vengeance, and he won't spare anyone, dude. He's not going to. Our Redeemer, the Lord Almighty, is his name, is the Holy One of Israel. So let me make sure I got the KJV on this one, because I want to make sure that they are using actual Chaldean. Oh, where is it? Oh, right there. Sorry about that. This one says, come down and sit in the dust. Which, from the dust we came and from the dust we go. And then where did he send the devil to, right? Where did he exile the devil to? Is to the dust, right? And so that's why I like the King James, but then there it is right there. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And so we learn through this truth that Christopher Columbus was sent, and he was a pedophile, right? And that's one thing that these sick monsters do, these wicked horse beasts, these wild beasts. You know, I mean, us Gentiles were grafted in as wild shoots. You know, we're all kind of wild, but we're wild shoots. You know, to come to to grow into an expected tree, because Jesus is the branch and we are the vine, right? And so he grafted us in. I like it. My favorite one is when Peter talks about it. I think it's in 1 Corinthians 10. Or maybe it's I think it's 2 Corinthians 10. But, you know, he's uncovering their nakedness, you know, through all of this technology that we have. It said, verse 5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And that's talking about when they came out here. You know, he gave them, you know, he sent them out here for this judgment. And so everything that happened with the Native Americans and everything, that was their judgment. And they didn't show them no mercy. And then they took the land, and I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the later end of it. And so they forgot. And the Lord always says, remember, 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 remember me. And they won't remember him because they're under the one mind, as it says in Revelation 17. Or maybe Revelation 13. They're under one mind, controlled by the beasts, you know. And there hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine heart, or thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon you. And so now he's talking about judgment with the enchantments. And so this is the Freemasons. So the Chaldeans are the Freemasons. And I personally was connected to this. I went to do bond service for a widow. And she was a Freemason's wife. And it was really scary, man. So they're Mesopotamians for preserving geometry and the royal art, right? And it's all magic. The Tower of Babel, they were there for Babylonian captivity. It's all royalty. And, you know, they use all of these symbols, right? AI is one of them. This is all their symbols. But yeah, Chaldeans are recognized in Freemasonry not as direct ancestral members, but as ancient custodians of geometry, astronomy, and mystical wisdom. Of course, they try to throw you off. The Chaldees or Magi are credited with preserving knowledge after the destruction of the Tower of Babel. And so I just wanted to connect those dots. God bless you and keep you forever.